Is your bed bar getting stoned? Well, it should be, and we're going to show you why on this next episode of GCSAA Inside the Shop. Hello, my name is Hector Velazquez and welcome to another episode of GCSAA Inside the Shop. So today we're going to be talking about stoning your bed knives and why it's a good practice to stone your bed knife and your bed bars before installing a new knife onto it. Now we're going to be talking about also how to store your bed knives so they last a little longer and reduce warpage. Now that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, what's a bed knife? Well, the bed knife is a stationary blade that sits directly beneath the cutting reel, and it is adjusted so the reel and cutting blades are very close, allowing for a very precise cut. The bed knife has to be as flat as possible for it to be precisely measured and set clear across the width of the reel. Now, here we have an old bed knife. Now, it looks really bad, I understand. I actually left it outside for a while in preparation for this video. Now, we're going to remove the old screws and the bed knife, and you want to discard of the screws and bed knife. You don't want to reuse any one of these, okay? And let's see what we got here. Now, here we have the surface of this bed bar. One would think it's okay to use, but we got to get this cleaned up. Alright, now here's an abrasive wheel that we could use, but the problem with this is there's a good chance that you can take metal. Wire wheels, they're okay, but they also kind of remove metal, so you want to be careful with those. The best wheel to use is this Rolex bristle wheel. This wheel is actually meant for aluminum, so it does an awesome job at cleaning a bed bar surface. So we want to make sure we get that clean. The idea is to not remove metal. If you start removing metal, if you start seeing sparks coming from your bed bar, you're removing metal and we're leaving divots in that bar. So then when we install a brand new knife, that knife is going to take the shape and condition of what this bar is in. Now, this looks really good. We see a little bit of pits. So we need to address that. And the deburring stone from JRM is the best way to do this. We have a rough side here, and then we have a smooth side. Now the way this works is we're going to use PB Blaster. You can use WD-40. This is just what I have on hand. But you want to really apply this stuff liberally. You want to get a lot of oil on this. And then we're also going to apply some to the stone itself. Alright, that should be good enough. Now you're going to lay your stone flat on the bar, and you're just going to start working the stone back and forth on the bar. Every once in a while you want to rotate the wheel so you're not wearing the same spot. And if it gets dry on you, you want to go ahead and apply some more lubricant. Now check this out. We're going to wipe this down a little bit. If you notice, just around the screw holes, you're seeing shiny spots. That's an indication of high spots on the bed bar. The darkened area, the stone hasn't even touched yet. Now around here on the end, we're not even touching that area at all. So if we were to install that bed knife like that, it's going to bend right at the edges. So it's not going to give us a precise, true flat on that bed bar. And therefore we would be removing a lot more material on the grinder to get a true flat surface. So we're going to work this bar a little bit more. We're going to see if we can work this out. And after about 10 minutes, I was able to get this thing kind of making contact all the way across. This looks really good. So our bed knife is going to be laying pretty true and flat on this. Now, we also want to do the same thing to the bed knife, right? We want to make sure there's no nicks on the bed knife. Just make sure we get it smoothed out and nice and clean. Now, I was showing a friend at another golf course how to use his deburring stone, and we were using it on his bed knife, and we came across this part on the bed knife, which was really interesting because you could really feel the dragging on the stone. And as we were able to work it out, but what it turned out being is the manufacturer stamped their name and the part number right on there, which left a really high spot. Now, while we're on bed knife, let's talk about storage. You never want to lay your knife bare on a bench. After about a month, it's going to warp and take the shape of that bench. Most manufacturers recommend that you leave your bed knives in their packaging if possible, if you're not going to use it right away. Or for me, I like to hang them on pegs, and that's a perfectly acceptable way to store your knives. All right, now that we got both surfaces stoned, we're going to go ahead and install our bed knife, put our screw on, and torque them down to manufacturer specs. I like it when you install both bars. It almost has like a suction cup type feeling to it. All right, now we're going to tighten down our screws to our manufacturer specifications as far as the sequence is concerned, and then we're going to torque them down to the proper specs, and that's going to help that knife also sit nice, true, and flat. Now, as you can see, stoning your bed bar and your bed knife is going to do nothing but improve your setup. I want to thank you for joining me here today on GCSAA Inside the Shop, where we're helping technicians one wrench at a time. Is your bed bar getting stoned? Well, it should be. We're going to tell you why on this next episode of